XRP, XLM, XDC, HB, and more in this video. While everyone's glued to TikToks about dog-themed meme coins or betting on the next celebrity, to shill a worthless token, something far more serious is unfolding quietly. Beneath the noise, a silent financial revolution is in motion, engineered not by influencers, but by central banks, institutional architects, and the most advanced blockchain ecosystems. The average retail investor couldn't even name networks like XRP, XLM. XDCHBRALGO, and Q&T aren't here to sell you hype. They're building the digital plumbing of a new financial order. Interbank settlements, tokenized real-world assets, compliance. First, smart contracts, instant liquidity corridors between continents, and this isn't a theory, it's already being deployed. If you thought crypto was just about laser eyes and NFTs of cartoon monkeys, buckle up, because you've been watching the smoke show, not the foundation. This isn't a bull run, it's not a pump. It's the rewiring of the global financial system, and you're either early or you're irrelevant. And here's the truth, no one's telling you. The coins that actually matter won't be trending on Twitter. They'll be the ones powering CBDC, interoperability, cross-border trade, and decentralized identity across entire governments and banking systems. Subscribe right now if you're ready to cut through the noise and go deep into the real crypto infrastructure that the world hasn't woken up to yet. Because by the time they do, you'll either be positioned for generational wealth or you'll be watching it happen from the sidelines. The illusion of adoption. Let's talk about crypto adoption, because the numbers you're hearing are smoke and mirrors headlines. Love to throw around flashy stats, 500 million wallets. Global crypto adoption is skyrocketing, but here's the harsh truth. Those numbers are bloated beyond belief. Wallets are not people. Most of those wallets, they're duplicates, they're bots, they're exchange-held custodial accounts, they're dead test wallets from 3 bull cycles ago, and if you've been in crypto for more than a minute, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Ask yourself, honestly, how many wallets do you have? 5, 10, maybe more. One for your cold storage, one for MetaMask, another for staking, one on Coinbase, another one on Binance, then a testnet wallet, maybe a burner, and a couple you forgot about with $10 of dust. Now multiply that by millions of people doing the exact same thing. Suddenly that 500 million wallet stat doesn't look so impressive, does it? Even if we're generous, and I mean really generous, maybe 500 million people worldwide have interacted with crypto once. But that number includes every person who bought $50 of Dogecoin on Robinhood during the 2021 hype and never opened the app again. So let's reframe the question. How many people are actually here for the real thing? How many are studying tokenized settlement systems? How many understand how ISO 20022 compliant protocols will redefine SWIFT and legacy banking infrastructure? How many are tracking the integration of blockchains into real-world finance, into trade, finance, interbank messaging, remittances, and CBDC platforms? We're not talking about hype cycles, we're talking about utility. And when you filter for that, you're looking at less than 1% of the global population. And honestly, even that might be generous, because most of the world still thinks crypto means speculation. They haven't seen the infrastructure, they haven't seen the enterprise integrations, they haven't seen how chains like XRP, XLM, and XDC are being deployed by governments, banks, and institutions in the background. While everyone's busy watching dog coins, real adoption isn't visible on CoinMarketCap. It's happening in back-end systems, government pilots, in international regulatory frameworks. The kind of stuff that isn't flashy, but will quietly reshape everything about how money moves, and by the time the masses realize it, the real value will already be consolidated by those who understood it early. The real innovation is in utility. Let's get one thing straight. While 99% of crypto is chasing the next meme pump, the real players are building utility, quietly, methodically, globally. The flashy stuff, meme coins, NFTs, community tokens, that's the smoke show. It's the distraction. Because the real innovation, it isn't sexy, it isn't memeable, but it's the foundation of the next financial system. We're talking about Tokenized money, not speculation, but programmable cash issued on chain, stablecoins backed by treasuries, CBDCs quietly piloted across continents. We're talking about cross-border payments settling in seconds, not days, moving trillions with minimal friction projects like Ripple, and stellar blazing trails behind the scenes with corridors in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. We're talking about P2P remittances that bypass Western Union's 12% cut and move capital directly to the people who need it, using mobile phones and QR codes. And most of all, we're talking about trade finance, the $10 trillion beast that no one on crypto Twitter is paying attention to. The lifeblood of global commerce being rebuilt on-chain with platforms like XDC and HB, integrating real-world contracts, shipping docks, and payment rails into decentralized smart systems. This is where the money is. This is where the banks are moving. And this is where the real value will occur. But here's the kicker: in June 2023, a report quietly landed. No hype, no influencers pushing it, no TikTok trends, just pure signal. Buried in it was a quote that should have set the entire industry on fire. Tokenization of money and assets has great potential, but it's all been happening in silos. That line right there, it explains everything. The problem isn't the tech. The tech works. The problem is fragmentation. Everyone's been building isolated solutions, walled gardens, private permissioned ledgers that don't talk to each other, central banks running pilots in closed systems, corporations building proof of concepts they never scale. That's not innovation. That's legacy thinking disguised as digital. Real innovation doesn't live in silos. It lives in interoperability. The future isn't dozens of disconnected blockchains operating in the dark. It's interconnected, public, compliant, and programmable infrastructure that integrates with existing payment systems, that speaks the same messaging standards like ISO 200022, that regulators can audit, that businesses can trust. That's why networks like XRP, Ledger, Stellar, XDC, and Quant matter, not because they're going viral, but because they're solving the real problem: how to unify this fragmented mess into something cohesive, scalable, and legally sound. And while everyone else is playing musical chairs with meme tokens, these platforms are sitting down with central banks, SWIFT partners, and global payment networks, rewriting the back end of finance. That's the real crypto revolution. And if you're not paying attention to it, you're not just missing out on profits. You're missing the entire point. The unified ledger is already being built. Let's talk about what the elites are actually building, because it's not theory anymore. It's not just maybe someday, it's already happening. Enter the unified ledger, not a concept, not a white paper dream, but a blueprint published by the Bank for International Settlements, the central bank of central banks, the institution behind closed door meetings with the IMF, the World Bank, and every major central bank on the planet. And what did they say? They're not just exploring blockchain, they're engineering a completely new global monetary system from the ground up. A system that combines central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, integrates tokenized commercial bank deposits, connects real-world assets like bonds, carbon credits, real estate on-chain, operates with programmable settlement layers, communicates through standardized APIs, and ensures real-time financial inclusion across every border and banking tier. This isn't a dream. It's the plan, and it's already underway. They're calling it the unified ledger, a multi-layered, interoperable, secure infrastructure designed to replace the fragmented mess that is our current financial system. A platform where money, assets, and data flow seamlessly, globally, compliantly, instantly. Now pause, ask yourself, who's building this? Not Ethereum, not Solana, not Dogecoin. The BIS isn't partnering with DeFi casinos or meme coin projects they're not interested in. Yield farms or frog NFTs, they're aligning with real infrastructure players, the ones who've been building for compliance, interoperability, and enterprise-grade scalability. From day one, XRP already integrated with central banks and payment corridors built for instant global settlement. It doesn't just move money, it moves regulated value across borders with finality. Stellar XLM laser focused on P2P remittances and financial inclusion, working with NOS's MoneyGram and United Nations initiatives to bring programmable money to the unbanked XTC, quietly cornering the $10 trillion trade finance market, working with Trade Phoenix TFD initiative in building smart contract rails that meet enterprise and WDO level requirements, HBR HETERA, enterprise grade DT with a governing council that includes Google, IBM, Boeing Standard Bank. Not hype, not retail, fueled just real corporate adoption. Algorand built from the ground up for institutional use, fast, secure, with compliance versus smart contracts, and an emphasis on central bank use cases, quant QNT, not even a blockchain. It is the middleware layer connecting legacy banking systems to blockchain through Ovalger. It's already working with SIA, one of Europe's largest payment networks that's trillions in volume, already testing interoperability. These aren't the projects going viral on Twitter, but they're the ones writing the invisible code that's going to run your bank account in 5 years T. This unified ledger is not one blockchain to rule them all. It's a network of networks and interconnected financial fabric, where public and private blockchains plug in like USB ports, each playing their specialized role. And guess what? Every single one of those tokens, XRP, XLM, XDCHB, RALGOQ, and T, is architected with that exact vision in mind. They're compliant, scalable, ISO 20022 ready, built for CBDC integration and backed by real partnerships, not influencer hype. So while the average retail investor is still fumbling around on Uniswap, looking for the next 100x moonshot, the real game, the $1 trillion game, is being played behind the curtain with programmable money on-chain asset tokenization and interoperable ledgers. The unified ledger is already being built. The only question is, are you positioned for it, or are you still chasing shadows? In the casino, Ripple, the BIS, and the rise of interledger protocols, this isn't some crypto conspiracy thread. It's not tinfoil. This is happening right now in August 2023. Ripple officially joined the Bank for International Settlements Cross-Border Payments Task Force, a task force designed to shape the architecture of the unified ledger, the future of global money movement. Let that sink in. The same Ripple that retail thought was dead after the SEC case, the same Ripple that's been screaming Internet of Value since 2017, is now working directly with the central bank of central banks to rewire global payments. You can't make this up. And they didn't just show up last year. Ripple's been integrating into the system, quietly, strategically embedding itself in central bank pilots, ISO 2022 networks, and real-time settlement infrastructure, while the media was busy clowning XRP holders for believing in fairy tales. Let me break it down again so it's crystal clear. Ripple, this unified ledger, VNet, FNet, is financial network. The BIS's catch-all framework for the new payment highways, Ripple is literally plugging into it. And here's the kicker. The core design language of this future financial system isn't Ethereum, it's not Bitcoin, it's not layer 2 meme chains, it's interledger protocol, ILP, Ripple's tech, that's right. The same interledger architecture that Ripple designed to connect siloed payment systems, whether fiat or crypto, is now being recognized as the backbone for this new programmable financial world. And it's not just Ripple, the BIS is no longer shy about it. In report after report, they've openly talked about integrating AI and machine learning for real-time fraud detection and AML quantum safe encryption to future-proof CBDC infrastructure, digital wallets, and smart financial apps that can talk directly to ledgers, programmable money that settles with conditions baked into the code cross-border interoperability layers to replace the Swift dinosaur, they're calling it, nothing less than a replumbing of the financial system. And that quote, that exact language came straight from the BIS Innovation Hub. This is not commentary, this is execution. Think about what that means. This isn't about retail payments anymore. It's not just Venmo on steroids. This is about real-time FX settlements between global banks, programmable disbursements for cross-border aid, tokenized treasuries settling in seconds, not days, central banks exchanging value on interoperable ledgers across jurisdictions in real time, and Ripple, yes, Ripple has been building the rails that connect those ledgers. They've spent years building corridors, partnering with banks, getting regulatory clarity across dozens of jurisdictions, preparing for the moment the legacy system finally gives way. That moment is now. So if you thought XRP was just some coin waiting for a relisting on Coinbase, you're missing the point. Ripple isn't trying to win against the banking system. Ripple is becoming part of it. And not just as a participant, but as a protocol layer, as infrastructure. And when value flows through protocols, that's when the token itself, XRP, starts becoming a bridge asset on a global scale. We're talking about liquidity demand from institutions, not retail traders. The BIS isn't interested in meme coins. They're interested in settlement, finality, and liquidity. Optimization and compliance by design is checking every one of those boxes, and they're doing it without hype. The rise of interled ledger protocols, it's not coming. It's already here. And the institutions are lining up. ISO 2022, the real standard behind the shift. Let's talk standards, because this is where the noise ends and the real architecture begins. ISO 20002 is not a buzzword, it's not a trend. It's the new global financial messaging standard, and it's not optional. This is a common language. Banks, payment networks, and central banks will be required to speak SWIFT adopting it. The ECB already live-fed wire transitioning by 2025. This is not some distant concept. It's happening right now, and it's going to be mandatory for the global banking system. And here's the part almost no one is paying attention to. There are crypto networks that aren't just compatible with ISO 20002. They're already embedded in the ecosystem, being built around it. Let's list them out, because this is the real elite class of infrastructure tokens, XRP, positioned for high-speed cross-border value transfers, tied directly to compliant messaging. Stellar XLM, engineered for remittance corridors and micro payments with built-in compliance hooks. XTC focused on trade finance and tokenized documents already integrated into ISO-aligned networks. Hedera HBR, trusted by Fortune 5s, hundreds energy grids, and payments firms for auditable fast DT Algorand, tuned for central bank digital currencies and smart contract deployment. At scale quant, QMIT, the literal glue of interoperability, built around ISO compliance with Overledger, Tech IOTA, targeting IoT payments and machine microtransactions built for real-world utility. These aren't altcoins. These are compliance, first enterprise-ready frameworks. They don't need to beg for attention on Twitter. They're quietly aligning themselves with the most powerful financial institutions in the world. And it goes even deeper. Let's talk about the actual standards bodies behind all of this. The ISO Technical Committee specifically, TC68 Financial Services, and TC307 Blockchain and Distributed Ledger Technologies. These committees are shaping the future of interoperability, data privacy, smart contract auditing, and yes, DT integration into traditional finance. Now get this, TC307 isn't some academic circle. It's led by none other than Gilbert Verdian, founder of Quant Network. So you've got the guy building one of the most important interoperability networks in crypto, literally chairing the committee, writing the global standards for blockchain integration. That's not coincidence, that's coordination. Verdian's goal from the start has been compliance first, interoperability quants. Overledger isn't a blockchain. It's the operating system for blockchains. It connects permissioned and permissionless ledgers, centralized and decentralized networks, all while complying with ISO 20002 standards. This is the scaffolding of the next financial system. It's the wiring behind the unified ledger, the programmable economy, and real-time value movement. And here's what most retail investors still don't get. If your token or network doesn't align with ISO 20002, it's not getting plugged into this new system. It's that simple. This isn't about meme pumps. It's not about vibes. It's about financial messaging, precision, structured data formats, and compliant interoperability. ISO 20002. 2 isn't optional, it's mandatory. In these protocols, they're already in position. Meanwhile, 99% of retail is still chasing hype coins on leverage, watching influencers spin narratives on TikTok, and waiting for the next airdrop. They're watching the surface, but underneath, the real financial internet is already being built with or without them. You want to understand where value is going. Follow the standards, follow the compliance, follow the infrastructure, because that's where the real money flows are headed. The financial shift is already underway. So here's the bottom line. While the world obsesses over meme coins, influencer projects, and the next hype narrative, the actual infrastructure for the next financial system is being hard-coded into existence right under everyone's noses. This isn't a future possibility. It's a coordinated rollout led by the BIS central banks, ISO committees, and enterprise-grade DTS. We're not heading toward a decentralized Wild West. We're heading toward a compliant, tokenized, interoperable financial grid where your value can move globally, in seconds settle instantly, and be programmed down to the cent and the projects leading it. XRP, XLM, XDC, HBR, OlgoQ, and TODA. These aren't speculative assets. They're infrastructure rails designed to plug directly into ISO 20002, two standard central bank networks, and tokenized economies. If you're here for real adoption, this is it. This is the rewiring of finance. And you've got two choices. You either get ahead of it now while it's quiet, overlooked, and massively undervalued, or you wake up 5 years from now when this entire system is live and all the real gains are long gone. Don't wait for the headlines. Don't wait for CNBC to validate what you already know. By the time it's obvious, it's already priced. And subscribe if you're done with the distractions and ready to go deep on the real crypto infrastructure shaping the next financial era. This is Be Crypto Smart, and we're only just getting started.